hat goes off to Iowa, and that's a good football team, and we had in a weird way we had some opportunities to uh, had our chances, but you have to be opportunistic when you get those chances, and certainly we didn't. And I do believe there's a group of guys, and said this to them after the game. Appreciate it. We had a group, and there's a number of guys that put it all out there for this team, and I think as a coach, you're always appreciative of that. And then there's every time you compete, every time you play, there's lessons to be learned, and we gotta find a way to get better, and certainly individually, as groups, and as a team to try to finish this thing out the right way.
I'll start with Jeff.
Paul, there are times when offensive coaches, whether it's the coordinator, the staff, whatever, they don't know what they're going to get sometimes from quarter to quarter, game to game. And I think you see the results. Is that where the offensive staff is right now? Because it looked like there were some plays that were open today that you guys liked, but the execution wasn't there.
I think, Jeff, that's fair, and a fair question, fair comment, and a fair observation, right? And then I think as a coach, you try to then are we asking them to do something they couldn't do, right? Even if it's there, is that something? And you'd like to think, no, if you thought that, you shouldn't have it in the plan. But I think that when you go back and you want to look at this film, you're gonna. I think you have to when coaches talk about being, kind of self-critical. I think that's part of it. Not was it just a good play or a good plan, but was it, because it does come down to execute. You see it, right? I mean, I thought there was a couple plays and had a chance, but we weren't able to take advantage of what it was, and certainly, when you go up against a good defense, and I do believe Iowa has a good defense, that there's another element to it, but it's I think you have to continue to look at it, and we know that we've got young and inexperienced in a lot of those skill positions, and you go into it wanting to make sure that you're not putting too much on their plate so that they can grasp it, and because in the end it always comes down to some little details, and that's the difference between winning and losing, or executing and not executing, which leads to results such as scoring points or winning and losing. Obviously, we're not doing it enough right now, well enough.
Paul, we saw you guys mentioned going into the game that this defensive line was going to be the best one that you played this year. How do you think the offensive line handled that challenge with the tough running attack today?
Yeah, it was, it takes everyone. I mean, I know there's a couple times the safety was down, had a decent, the line, I guess, to answer the question, it can't always fall just on the line, that you did or didn't run the ball well. I know that I think there was times when there was enough time to throw the ball, and I know we got beat quick on one that looked like we had a possible throw down the field, and it is a good front, and yet I think we've got a good line too, and that was going to be a neat battle within the game itself, and when you come down and when it all comes together, though, we as a group offensively, right, we've got to do more, and yet it's hard to say that the Lions, they got to do their part, and I think many times they did.
Jim.
Paul, whether it was at halftime when it was 6-0,
or at any other point, did you consider putting Jack in just to change things up or provide some sort of spark at all?
Yeah, I knew going into the game that wasn't going to be an option for us. So then no.
We'll go over to Josh.
Paul, when did you guys know that Jalen wasn't going to be available today, and how did that maybe affect how you were able to game plan?
Yeah, I think we knew Friday morning. So your game plan was in, and then I don't know that you would have had a different game plan necessarily, with or without Jalen, right? Well, I mean, obviously the plan was with him, but it wasn't like all of a sudden you had to scrap the plan because Jalen wasn't available. But obviously, he's a talented young back that I think was continuing to grow, and you would have liked to have had him.
Go over to Steve.
I just want to make sure with Jack, I take it was a physical thing that kept him from being available today. And also, at this point, are y'all still interested in playing next week, assuming everything's okay with other teams that there is a game scheduled next week? Would you like to play it?
Yeah, I thought, throughout all of this, and we got guys that want to and enjoy and appreciate being able to play football, and so whenever we get an opportunity to play, one, you're grateful for it, especially the way this season is, and therefore we're hopeful of it.
We've got time for two more. We'll go over to Jeff.
Yeah, Paul, I know everybody's got to do their part on offense to make a play work, but
Right.
did it seem to you that Graham was not seeing things as clearly? I know that's a good defense, but not seeing things as clearly as he would have liked to.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple early, and then saw some things, and I think was right in what he saw. But there's such a fine line of kind of the patience without holding on to the ball, or there's I don't know what people think of when they talk about a quarterback in rhythm. To me, it's kind of a balancing act to it. You certainly don't want to rush things, and sometimes that's from seeing it properly. And so right now maybe where you want to go with it. And I thought that got him on a couple, and then I thought there was a few that the look was maybe didn't see it exactly how it was, and I've always thought this, from coaching a number of quarterbacks. I used to tell the quarterbacks all the time, it's easy for me. I've a lot of times you're watching it and there's your feet are up on the desk, and you rewind it a couple times, and obviously the ball should be right. I mean, it's not that's what's awesome about that position is there's a lot of thinking that has to go on, and really I think the thinking has to go on in the preparation. That's why all these reps are valuable, because when you're playing, it's almost has to be as much just reconfirmation, and you've done it so many times that you just know it, and those are the things that he's working through right now.
We'll wrap it up with a last one from Jim.
Paul, Smith-Marset got behind you guys in the secondary a couple times. I'm sure you want to look at it again, but were those coverage breakdowns for the most part, or anything you can shed the light on?
Yeah, I want to say, it was we're kind of, I think one I saw, right, we're kind of in the quarters, and the DB saying the corner might be thinking he's got some help, and then the safety gets tied up, and now it's not that. So they did a nice job. They were able to, it took them, defensively we did something really well, and yet, there were a couple, obviously, big plays that they were able to take advantage of. And certainly the one I thought was kind of a quarters coverage where I think there was a little bit of, we got to let them get on top of us.